And for the occlusal aspect, we first make sure that you have an hexagonal occlusal outline. Make sure for having a proper lingual convergence, and then we start our occlusal carving. This is the buccal cusp, proximal aspects. This is the lingual cusp with the lingual cusp slopes. First of all, we will open what's called as a V-shaped notch to divide the occlusal table into a buccal surface or a buccal half and a lingual half. The V-shaped notch should not be deep. We go just after the cusp tip, going downward towards the midline, opening a V-shaped notch, and as I mentioned, please don't make it deep. And then from the proximal outline, we'll go inwards around 1 millimeter, and we draw a line, which is the marginal ridge. And at the center of the line, we go deep with the tip of the knife or the carver to make a notch, which is the triangular foci. The other line, the same, we go inwards about 1 millimeter to draw a line, which is the marginal ridge, and we go at the center of this line with the tip of the knife or the carver to make the triangular foci. Just clean the notch from any debris and the foci with the tip of the carver. We should use a sharp carver for the occlusal carving. And then we draw a triangular ridge coming from the cusp tip towards the center. And we slide 45 degrees downwards from this cusp tip and till reaching the triangular foci. We go 45 degrees downward from the cusp tip till the triangular foci to have a pyramidal form of the cusp. And we remove any debris like this. This is the buccal cusp. And we do the same for the lingual cusp. So we first draw the triangular ridge of the cusp, and then we carve 45 degrees from the cusp tip to where this is the triangular ridge of the cusp. Okay, and then we go 45 degrees downward, sliding from the cusp tip till reaching the triangular foci. Do not pass the triangular foci, as if you did this, you will cut the or you will break the marginal ridge. So we just stop at the triangular foci, from the cusp tip to the foci. And then we remove any excess debris from the developmental groove or from the fossa like this. We just clean the fossa from any debris, and we join the two triangular fossae with a developmental groove, which is the central developmental groove with the tip of the carver. We draw the central developmental groove joining between the two triangular fossae. And then we adjust the cusps, just refinement and finishing with the carver to remove any excess wax. We go from the central developmental groove to the cusp. We work passively as we only remove the excess wax. And at the mesial aspect, we know that we have what's called a mesial marginal developmental groove. So we break the marginal ridge on the mesial half, going a little to the lingual by a groove, crossing the marginal ridge around 1 millimeter or 1.5 millimeter, and then we clean this groove, the mesial marginal developmental groove, to be obvious. And then we also have what's called as a canine fossa. We make it with the spoon part, the other part of the carver, in the cervical third of the crown and the cervical two-thirds of the root, just in the middle of the mesial aspect. We make it with the tip of the carver, the other side, the spoon side. And then we draw the cervical line, convex root-wise, buccally and lingually, and convex toward the root and convex toward the crown mesially and distal with the different curvature. The mesial one is at a higher level than the distal cervical line. And then we remove wax below the cervical line like this, a small layer of wax in order to accentuate the cervical line and to show the constriction between the crown and the root, the neck, the crown neck. And we apply finishing with a synthetic material at the cervical line to remove any debris. We finish from the buccal to the lingual aspect, from the buccal to the lingual towards the lingual convergence. We remove any debris like this. Do not use this synthetic material over the occlusal table, as it will make everything smooth and round, and we don't want this to happen. We need the anatomical features to be clear, especially on the occlusal surface. So we just finish it like this, going from the buccal to the lingual. For the occlusal, you can finish it with a brush. Just finish it with a brush. You may need the curver again to accentuate any of the anatomy on the occlusal surface, to remove any debris from the fossae. It's up to you according to your work. To accentuate the central developmental groove again. Remove any debris, refine any cusp. So it's just finishing. And then we have a fully carved proper upper floor. Showing it from all aspects: the lingual, the medial, the canine fossa, medial marginal developmental groove. You may even want to accentuate the canine fossa after making the cervical line. As we mentioned, it is centralized in the mesial aspect, in the cervical third of the crown and the cervical two-thirds of the root. So we make it in the whole root portion.